My name is Sandrella.
Hi, my name is Emily Nemapare.
Hi, I'm Plexidus Winika.
I'm Denise Pine.
My name is Titi Mutendi.
My name is Lorraine.
My name is Nangi Saim Fududu.
My name is Ngobile Munzara.
Dear women, this is a tribute from me and from all the women in this video to all women and all men all over the world. The idea of it came during Women's Month, where South Africa makes women's mouths so loud it's so hard to ignore them. We celebrate ours together with the UN and other parts of the world in March. But when South Africa had theirs in August, I thought, as a build-up to my birthday month, which is in September, why not get women who are in my immediate network, women who have a message, who have a story, who have a journey, to say something about where they're at and what their feelings are as women and what they've achieved, what they've gone through. And that is how this video came about. So I know some of the men might not want to watch because they're thinking, oh, here they go again. Those women never stop. They beat this gender equality thing with a large stick. I know what you're thinking and I know how this goes. So I really hope that you take the time out to watch this all the way to the very end. Feel the different emotions from the women. Hear the different bits of advice from the women. And I hope that we can all come together, men and women alike, and address some of these issues in a more deeper and deliberate way. Because the truth is, we have a long way to go before we reach any kind of equality, let alone gender equity.
I've noticed that women all over the world are not treated equally to men, and that women somehow deserve less. Like, for example, in certain jobs it's just impossible for a woman to qualify to get that job, or even if they do get that job, the amount they get paid will be nowhere near the same amount as men get paid for doing the exact same job. And I don't find that fair at all. I think women are just as capable as men are at doing the same jobs, and that they could do a great job as well. And an example is here in Africa. I'm sure you can count the number of female leaders or presidents that we have with one hand.
A woman is a symbol of grace, power, and strength. As I think about women all over the world, I think about the word pressure. From cultural pressures to societal pressures to religious pressures to economic pressures to biological clock pressures. A woman is literally born into pressure. She has no choice but to be strong and fearless.
It is the 21st century and women are still policed on what they wear to work. HR handbooks are riddled with dress codes that define the appropriate length of our dresses and our skirts, how much arm to expose, yet nothing on how tight a man's shirt or suit should be. And don't get me wrong, I get it. There's a place for rules and regulations in any system. They just seem to lean a little disproportionately toward the woman.
It's alright for you to start your family later on in life. And it's 100% completely okay if you don't want any of these things at all. Don't let society fit you into some box. Societal norms, trends, and expectations should not define who you are as a woman. Feel free and bold enough to walk on your own path at your own pace. Because who knows what beautiful and brilliant things you might find on that uncharted path.
As we remember how far we've come as the women's rights movement, let's remember how far we still have to go. Female genital mutilation is still happening today. Child marriages are rampant. 1 in 3 women are sexually abused. Let's try and remember all these people and those that are being arrested simply for standing up and being female.
There's so many issues that plague our societies, especially on the African continent. How can we still be talking about things like female genital mutilation in 2020? Like, are we even serious? Teenage pregnancies, where young girls, for whatever reasons, are now forced to become mothers at a very young age. Child marriage? Really? I mean, are you okay with depriving a young girl of being a little girl, a child, of being an adolescent, then becoming a young adult, of getting her MBA, then deciding when she wants to get married? How can we take that away from women and then expect them to still be sane when you expect them now to raise a household? Our mental health is not going to be okay at this rate, because there's so many things that we go through, so many things that women have to go through and stomach and handle, that It's not okay for men to then say women ask for too much, women demand too much. How about women have been through too much? And at some point we need to address these issues without getting annoyed or rolling eyes and saying women have enough. Look at you, Ruvheneko, you've got what you know, you've got a career. Look at the next person, she sits as a CEO. Look at the next person, she's in politics. It's not about that. It's about all the things that are underlying and all the other women and girls who don't have the privilege and the position that some of us do have. The women in this video have all got successful stories to share. Granted, they've been through a lot emotionally, mentally, but in terms of their professional careers, they are somewhere. What about the young, aspirational young girl who's watching this right now from where she is? What do we tell her? How do we lift her up? How do we empower her when we're still dealing with things like patriarchy?
My wish for Women's Day in 2020 is for us to move away from attacking each other as women. We love to attack each other's clothing, each other's hair, how we speak. We love to attack each other's weight. We love to, question how we got particular jobs or success in life. But the reality is we need to change. We need to move away from that. You never see men attacking each other like that, especially on social media.
Unfortunately, some of the inequalities that we still face today are with each other. There still is this pull you down syndrome, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be through friendships, or whether it just be when we come together. I implore us to dig deep within ourselves and deal with what's lacking within us, so that we do not feel that when we see another woman, a woman who's thriving, a woman who's doing well in her profession or in her personal life, that we feel that we need to pull her down to make ourselves feel better.
But I do believe that so many of you out there have had some encounter, a really bad one, and I just want to let you all know that you're awesome, and don't stop believing in yourselves, and to continue loving yourself, because you are a beautiful, awesome woman.
I'm a lawyer by training, and I work in the financial services sector in Zimbabwe. The sector is very male dominated, especially looking at the banking institutions in the country. There are 19 banking institutions, and yet only one has a female MD. Also, last year I conducted a study, and the results of my study revealed that only 3 institutions out of the 19 had women as chairmen of their boards. In addition, there were 162 non-executive and executive directors, and only 44 of those were women, representing 27%. We have a very long way to go as a nation in order to realize gender equality, especially in the banking services sector. There are many women who've dedicated their lives working in those institutions who are capable of taking up very senior positions of leadership.
I am not aggressive, rather assertive. I am not bossy, but a natural born leader. I am not difficult, but I'm not afraid to own and tell my truth. I am not awkward, but I will ask the difficult and hard questions. I am not too much, no, never that, but I will take up space. I will never shrink myself to let another feel comfortable. I will continue to occupy space. Happy Women's Month.
Ekuhle manina ase-Afrika. Siyaziqhenya ngani, siyabonga ngenkalakatha yomsebenzi eliwenzayo. Umsebenzi owenza ukuthi amandla abe ngawethu sonke. Siyabonga sithi halala, bomama beAfrika halala.
I know the usual convention is being a woman is hard, but I'd like to say, I think as women, we are becoming people who shatter that kind of statement. Women everywhere are standing up for their rights and making lives better for the future generation. So I would like to keep encouraging all the powerful women and every woman out there that is doing even the slightest thing to make the world a better place. We commend you. We love you.
We talk about sexual harassment as though it's some grand thing that happens, right? And then we talk about it as though it's something that involves rape or something extreme. Sexual harassment is in its most subtle ways happening to all of us. I have been sexually harassed at work. Did I report it? No. You've been sexually harassed at work. Did you report it? No. This is something that women also face and that we have to fight all the time, because there's a fine line between saying, if my boss has complimented how I look today, is that sexual harassment? If he comments that I've gained a bit of weight down south, is that sexual harassment? The answer is yes, it is. But the truth is, most of us don't want to go through the admin of having to report it and challenge your boss. The question is, when do we say it's too extreme and when it's not? So you see, men don't understand that when we're in the workplace and you demean a woman, or you talk about her sexually and talk about her body and her physicality, you must understand that you're crossing lines, that there are corporate lines and barriers and boundaries that we should all be confined by and respect each other, so that women don't have to fight this battle every day. It's exhausting. It's nice to be complimented, trust me, we love it. We look good for ourselves, we look good to look good, it's always good. But we need to be sure and we need to be clear that there are lines and that men should not cross those barriers. Then we talk about the home, Anditi, gender-based violence at home. This goes both ways. Men are also getting abused by their women. Women are abusing, being abused by men. So it goes both ways. However, it is important to be able to report these issues. The biggest problem is that we don't report some of these things. That's why we're still here. That's why it seems like we've taken 10 steps forward and then 20 steps back. Because a lot of the time, women keep quiet. We shy away from being the one to speak out. A lot of us are victims. A lot of us are statistics. A lot of us but we're quiet. Because God forbid a CEO could possibly be beaten by her husband.
I've noticed in my 20+ years of working in various companies, leadership positions, at management positions, board positions across Africa, that when a man wants to manage you, he will phone you and offer you a position for a woman. No skill set mentioned, no qualifications mentioned, no mention of your past achievements, no matter how good, no matter how big. I want to encourage you that anytime someone tries to talk to you like this, which means that they're asking you to come and be a token, reject that. Force people to articulate, being a woman, what are you looking for? What qualifications? What skill set? Why me? And unless they can articulate that, and unless you can go check, 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 don't go there. Because all you're being offered is a position as a token. And we reject tokenism.
After a performance one day, a man came up to me and said, "Wow, Selma, that was a beautiful performance. For a woman, you did really well." And I'm like, what does that mean for a woman? So you're right, Ruvi, in this day and age, we're still facing a lot of men that don't understand the value that women have and the talent and the capability that we have. And let's use this Women's Month to highlight and let them know that we are just as good as them.
Take some time out, find out what it is that makes you tick. Get to know yourself better. And there's no other way to know yourself better than spending time with the maker, the one that made you. He will work all those things out and make you even a better person. There's nothing better in life than living a life of purpose. And when you find your purpose, everything else will make sense.
As a Black woman trying to navigate the corporate world, not only do I have to work twice as hard just to be seen, I also have to make a choice. Unlike my male counterparts, I have to make the choice between advancing my career and getting a seat at the table, or the wonderful experience of motherhood.
Dream and dream big. My favorite saying is, what ceiling? I look up and I see skies. I hope that you start doing that too. And women, let's stand together. Let's be a support system for each other. One that says, I know there's a job going in this place and I'm going to hook you up because you're my sister. One that says that I do not want to see you struggling or suffering. I've had an experience that I can share with you that may help you see the wood from the trees.
Plenty of people will decide that you can't do something. Plenty of people will decide that this room is not for you to be in. Your only job is for you to decide that every room you are in is a room that you belong in and to remain there. And the most important thing is to feel like you belong in every room you are in. So girl, don't make yourself smaller. Don't shrink yourself. You are in that room because you deserve to be in that room, and you better start acting like one.
I'm incredibly excited to be part of a generation that is at the cusp of a change in history. Now, we're receiving a baton stick from our mothers who refused to be women who complied with the cultural expectation of staying in their place. And in turn, they're allowing us to take up space. Now, of course, that comes with its own challenges. It comes with its own struggles, because we're trying to be respectful of our culture. We're trying to honor our culture, but we're also trying to move with the times, and we're trying to educate the people around us, our brothers, our employers, our co-workers, our fathers, that this is a new era where we as women are pioneers.
We have a responsibility as women to pass on the baton to the next generation. If we have a young person, our daughters, our sons, we need to be raising them to be confident, to be self-assured. We certainly did not wake up confident. We certainly did not wake up self-assured. There was a deliberate intention by our parents, by our community members to make us so.
I am a woman today who still faces the same challenges that my mother faced, that my grandmother faced, and I can only draw strength from these women that have come before me and the women that surround me. Today I am a product of power, purpose, and strength because of each and every woman, each and every Zimbabwean woman that has stood firm and strong through inequality, injustice, abuse, pain, and suffering.
Every day should be Women's Day, to celebrate the awesomeness that you are as a mother, as a friend, as a sister, as a lover, as a colleague, the awesomeness of the creation that you are, that allows you to give of yourself continuously, to give and to give and to give.
Hey Queen, so here is my truth about being a woman. So much is required from us. So much is expected from us with very little in return. So here is me changing this narrative. I will no longer seek validation from people that don't matter. I will no longer seek validation from people that don't know my story. I will no longer seek validation from people that won't be there in the end. Instead, I will seek validation in the one that created me. The world didn't give it. The world can't take it. Don't give them that joy.
Go on to the next success, shaping your journey as you go. Remember to be kind to those you meet and to cultivate positive relationships, because we are standing on the shoulders of those that came before us. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. The journey has just begun, and it's going to be amazing.
Our generation needs to keep speaking up. We need to love ourselves and appreciate ourselves and celebrate our strengths, and lift each other up.
I just want to say to all the women out there, you are amazing, you're strong, and I salute you. And as we're fighting the greatest pandemic of the 21st century, COVID-19, I want us to realize that we need to be there for each other. Gender-based violence has increased in our private spaces, and the only way that we can survive this is if we're there for each other. Let's not keep it a secret. Let's not pretend that it's okay. It's not okay. We need to talk about it. We need to support each other. We need to be there for each other. And we need systems that support women, because if we're going to survive, we need to make sure we protect women.
And then patriarchy, a word that we've thrown around and heard talked about in history. But you know that it's still so relevant. It's still so relevant in modern society. It's relevant in well-to-do households. It's relevant everywhere. It's not just something that happens kumamisha or in places where people are underprivileged. It happens even in my own home, where for the first time this year, I felt patriarchy. I cried because I couldn't believe that the men around me are patriarchal. It broke my heart with pure disappointment that is in them. But then I realized that it's not their fault, that this is something that is inbuilt and indoctrinated in all men as we pass down. So here we are talking about inheritance. As a young Zimbabwean woman with the name that I carry, I actually have no title or entitlement to any land that my family lineage owns because I'm a girl. The assumption is that I'm going to go off and get married, right? That why should I take bits of the family with me to another man's family? Now, when I'm in that man's family, again, I don't have any entitlement because that man might have a son who my son will have more entitlement than I do. So there's so many issues that you don't realize women are facing. So many battles that we have to fight before we even stepped into the door, before we even said I do. We've already got nothing to our names. So we have to fight extra hard. We have to defend ourselves. We have to prove ourselves. We start on a back foot. Whereas men, I believe, are quite entitled. They step into these situations, they inherit, and they're given positions because one is Zita, because Varume. And we have so much we have to battle through. So you must understand that when a woman is complaining about her pain, when she's complaining about an unequal gender pay gap, when we're talking about these things, it's not because we're just trying to be difficult. It's because everything is already difficult for us. We just want some things that are based on merit, based on being a human being. Surely I deserve to inherit something. That based on being a human being who's also gone to the same university, sat the same exams, that I also deserve to be given a title that you might hold. And that because I'm a tennis player and I am a woman, why should my pay be different when we're putting in the same hours to become champions? So these are things that we must never ignore. And for men who are raising young girls, hear them out. Don't make them think that they're wrong to question these things. And I hope that the women also raise men. Raise boys, women, okay? Dear women, raise boys that you would want to marry. Raise boys that are not going to give another woman's daughter a headache. Raise boys that when they are in a corporate workplace one day, that they're not being sexually abusive to any women, that they're being polite, that they're being respectable, that they are raising also another generation after them that will be like you and me as women who want the best for the girls of today and the girls of tomorrow. That's our responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for the young people that are in our hands right now that are going to become men and women in tomorrow's world.
Here is to the woman that stands for what she believes in, no matter what society says. Here's to the woman that has been beat down by society for how she dresses, how she talks, and how she walks. Listen, girl, it's all about you and do you.
I would like to look at my own personal experiences as a woman. I think the journey of being a woman is never an easy one. When you are born, you think everything is equal, but as you grow, you slowly realize that the men or the boys in our lives always get preference and always have an upper hand in our societies, especially in the African context, where we're still dealing with patriarchy in its many variations. However, I find that women are also have spaces where they are revered and have spaces where they're given opportunities, where their strength is appreciated and where their contribution is second to none.
And as a creative business leader, I'm excited today to commend all the young men within our space who are doing their part to create a more gender-friendly and equal environment. And so to those who still want to know how they can take part and they can play their part, we say, just help one woman move from having a caretaker role to becoming a force to be reckoned.
On International Women's Day, I'm reminded that until, as a global community, we unlock the creative brain power and talent of half the world's population, we'll only continue to advance at half our ability. Unlocking means allowing women to advance in positions of power without having derogatory claims thrown on them simply because they're women.
This year, I am so honored to be female, to be called a woman because of how much we have evolved over the years, how much growth there is, whether it's on social media or in person. We are rising up. We're changing the narrative of what was the definition before of what a woman is and what a woman is today. And we are women that are we change lives, we touch lives, we are sitting on boards in companies, we are owning businesses, we're supporting each other. You know, I am so honored. I see the growth, I see the sisters, I see the love, and I just want to encourage us to continue using our voices to support one another.
Women are so strong, they're powerful, they're happy, they're wonderful, they're amazing. And today on Women's Day, I just want to celebrate you for the queen that you are, for the smile that you bring, for the atmosphere that you change when you walk into the room. You are strong, you are amazing, you are a conqueror, you motivate others to do better, you change people's lives. You are a woman. You are a true, strong African woman.
Be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Decide what you actually want in life, not what society tells you want, what other people tell you want, what you think you want. Sit down, be honest with yourself. Ask yourself why you want those things. And if you really want them, then be ruthless and go for it.
Be strong. Decide what you want with your life. What kind of a person you want to be. What kind of a mom you want to be. What kind of a friend do you want to be. What kind of a partner do you want to be. All of these things decide. And when you do decide, don't let anybody ever tell you you don't deserve any of it.
This Women's Day, I'd like to encourage Zimbabwean women who are in positions of power, of wealth, of influence to invest in other Zimbabwean women in the music industry, in the arts industry. There are so many talented women who unfortunately don't get as far as they can because men are usually in charge. Men are usually the ones willing to invest, and many times they ask for special favors or expect you to compromise your values, and women don't get as far as they can. If we had more women investing in other women, this problem would not be as big as it is. So I encourage you to invest in a talented Zimbabwean woman.
Being a businesswoman in Zimbabwe comes with its share of pain, challenges, struggles. Of note, I have noticed sexual harassment. Just negotiating for a simple contract is that much harder if you're a woman. Why? Because sex always comes in the way. You're beautiful, so your beauty becomes your pain. But the pain is your power. If you can push and push past that, push your way, because you have a right. You have every right to be successful. The power is in the pain.
The whole question of absence of women, or should I call it the limited visibility of women in private and public sector leadership, has been a subject of much debate, research and dialogue, and has been an agenda issue for over 3 decades. But we still see that women remain underrepresented in leadership positions, but it's not for a lack of ambition, but there are still persisting inequalities in our society between men and women, and these continue to place women at a disadvantage. And what I think we need to do is that we need to start coming up with deliberate strategies and deliberately create space and opportunities that propel women towards advancement and promote women leadership across all sectors. That's what needs to happen.
Let us remember that, particularly in this period where we have COVID-19 wreaking havoc globally, and we know that as women, we are more affected. How many of us have experienced gender-based violence, mainly being contributed by the lockdowns? We know a number of women who are actually failing to access health services, leading to maternal mortality. I don't want even to look at the inequalities that we are still experiencing within the workplace.
Women's health remains a passion to me as a gynecologist, and despite all the advances in technology and health world over, in this part of the world, women's health still leaves a lot to be desired. So today I'm just encouraging women, especially in Zimbabwe, to empower themselves with knowledge, to empower themselves with matters especially surrounding their health, so that they can be able to make meaningful decisions pertaining to health matters, especially when it comes to their health as women.
Let's get the dragon to talk to the ladies out there. For those who don't know, the dragon is my mom. Why we call it the dragon? The woman literally spits fire. She says what she wants, does what she wants. She is an overachiever, a powerhouse in her own right. Amazing, phenomenal woman. She walked in through the door, and then my dad followed, and he gave me a big hug. And he was like, "Frida, you are just amazing." I felt that. I really felt that. So that's my message to you ladies out there. We're just amazing.
As an older woman, I have my views about how we can help each other. I believe that women should show up for each other. I truly believe that as older women, we should be the shoulders on which the younger sisters can stand on so that they can see further. If we all lived by the mantra, "I am because you are, and I am my sister's keeper," I believe that the sky is the limit.
I had a meeting with my mentor before starting a new job, and she said that one of the things that I could initially do was befriend a lady at work. So as I got to the staff room on my first day, I zeroed in on this really beautiful lady who was so active and seemed to know what she was doing, and I told myself that this was going to be my friend. So imagine the disappointment when, since our first interaction, all I got was shade. I would make suggestions at work. She would find ways to crush every suggestion. I would even ask her a question or ask for help, and she would respond in the rudest way possible and pulled me down every chance she got. And it really hurt my feelings, because when I saw her, I saw an older sister. I saw someone whose back I would have, and vice versa. But that wasn't the case, and I realized that sometimes as women, we are each other's enemies.
Woman. There is so much power that comes with that word, but so little power is given in the patriarchal societies that we have grown up in, especially in Zimbabwe. We're supposed to be intelligent and bold and loud, but not too much of that, because then you're just gonna intimidate a man. I'm tired of being accommodating, and every other woman is tired as well. And it's your duty as a man, as a woman, to create a better Zimbabwe for the future generations that is enframed in equality.
I just want to remind women that despite the struggles that we go through and that we face, the daily struggles and the challenges that we face in a patriarchal society, we have been for centuries and centuries been leading from the front, whether it was the women of the suffragettes movement, whether it was the women down south, Sophie de Bruyn, who led the Women's March in Pretoria in 1959. We have been at the forefront, and we've always been leading the way.
Being a young woman myself, who has grown up here in the UK and spent the other half in Zimbabwe, I've come to realize this to be true. Coming from an African background already, which requires women to work so hard from a young age, to coming to a first world country that actually supports women who work so much and helps them rise, I've come to realize this to be true. Women have got so much talent. We have so much talent. Give a woman anything to do, whether at home, at work, anywhere. Trust her with it. Empower her. You'll see she will do it better because of the life skills and experiences that we're already built with.
The other day, my daughter was in her room, and my initial thought was, she's up to no good. I walked into her room and she was kneeling at the corner of her bed and she was praying. That instantly melted my heart, but it also reassured me that I was doing a good job as a mom. So I just want to say to all the moms, stop being hard on yourself. You're doing an amazing job. You, as an individual, as a mother, you're doing an amazing job. With God by your side, you can accomplish anything, you can go anywhere, you can do anything you want to do.
I've gone through a divorce, I've had kids, but I'm still standing. So whatever you're going through in life, just know you're not the first one. You will not be the last one. So look to another woman for support. Look to another woman for advice. And to the women that have been through life, help the younger ones. Help a sister. Help a friend. You're not alone. We're all phenomenal. We're all beautiful.
As a woman, if I've had a miscarriage, I can't talk about it. Why is it a taboo to talk about this in our culture? As a woman in Zimbabwe and a woman in Africa, I want to make it clear, this is my body. My body carried this beautiful child. I felt this child, even if I didn't get to a stage of feeling them. I wanted this child. So whether or not I get to hold them, whether or not I get to see them, I've lost this child. I want to grieve this moment. I want to feel this moment. I want to speak about this because this was a very painful moment for me. Why am I being told that it's my fault? It's my body that rejected the baby. Why am I being told that I can't grieve my child just because I haven't held them, I haven't seen them?
Ladies, what you've been through, I've been through. What you're gonna go through, I'm going to go through. There is nothing that makes us different from one another. To all those ladies who don't believe in fairy tales anymore with happy endings, you are the writer of your story. You're the queen of your castle. Straighten your crown and rule it. Start believing in yourself. You can achieve. You will achieve. You will be the greatest.
To all the young ladies who want to enter the profession, well done for making this choice. It's an amazing profession once you give it a chance. However, you need to be mindful of the working environment in which you're entering into. Our legal profession, in terms of the senior partners of the firm, are largely still male dominated. This entails that when you enter the firm as a young lady, sometimes they don't acknowledge that you entered because of your braids, but because of your beauty, and they want more from you. As a young lady, know your boundaries, know yourself, and know your worth, and do not let any man hold a job over you in order to get sexual favors.
As a young black woman, I want to prosper. I want to own my own home. I want to have a pension so I can get back to my passions, which is traveling and writing. I want to be able to access affordable healthcare, to have a documentation. As it stands, I have no passport because it's stuck in backlog, and this is 10 months later. I want to excel in my chosen profession without having to be related to somebody or sleeping with everybody. Listen, I want to be able to speak out and to stand out without fear or favor, without my private life and my sexual choices being discussed by all and sundry, just to insult, shame, and discredit me. I want my country to love me as I have loved it. I want to be happy. I want to be safe. And I just want to thrive in J. That's all.
We need to differentiate between women that are privileged and those that don't have it. I'm a Zimbabwean Kenyan. I'm from developing countries, but I've had the privilege to travel. We need to figure out how to uplift the voices of women from the third world and lower income Western women. And to me, one of the drivers for improving their lives is through economic empowerment. Because once a woman has financial stability, she has agency over her life. She can decide how she wants to live it and who she wants to be. I hear statements like women are superior, ones like women are equal, and there's a truth in both. But there's also a truth missing in both, and we need to be intellectually honest and to be thorough so that we don't alienate allies. And who are those allies? Good men. We talk about bad men and what we don't want, but we also need to talk about good men and the kind of world we want to see.
One area in our beautiful nation of Zimbabwe that I believe needs emphasis and needs to be given great attention is the area of mental health amongst women. For so many years and for so long, women have gone through depression, suicidal thoughts, there's been domestic violence, they've gone through rape, they've gone through molestation, incest, and so many other devastating circumstances that seek to limit the potential of a woman. Zimbabwe needs you women. Despite what you've walked through, despite whatever circumstance, negative or adverse circumstance you've walked through, there is still value in you as a woman. And Zimbabwe needs you and needs the treasure and the value that's in you to emerge so that we can build this beautiful nation.
Hello beautiful people, my name is Malasha Manga. I currently live in Melbourne, Australia. I was born in Harare, Zimbabwe. It is Women's Month. This August, the year is 2020, and I strongly believe that we have made significant advancements in terms of women's rights and empowerment. However, there is still a long way to go, and we as women are part of the solution. We cannot sit back and watch and wait and expect that somebody else is going to make a difference. This is our duty, our role, and if anything, we will liberate ourselves.
All the women out there considering following an equally challenging path, I say this: just take that initial step and you're halfway there. Always be confident in your capabilities and your abilities. Never seek validation from the people around you. Always be able to say, you know what? I got this.
I want to encourage you, number one, whatever pain, whatever heartache you have experienced, particularly through prejudice or just because of the way you look, understand that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Take all of that pain, give it to God, and watch Him turn it around for good. Watch Him make it into something powerful and beautiful for the world around you. Number two, whatever bitterness you may carry in your heart or unforgiveness, know that it's not helping you. It will make you sick and it will keep you stuck in the past. Give it to God. Be restored and be healed on a daily basis so that you can be the most powerful and beautiful version of yourself.
I believe that being a woman is such a superpower. We wear so many hats, we carry so many titles, but sometimes The roles that we find ourselves in define and take away from who we truly are. Before you're someone's mom, before you're someone's girlfriend, someone's wife, someone's stepmom, someone's anything, you are an individual. I find we give so much of ourselves and we spread ourselves so thinly, but we forget to give ourselves to ourselves. So this Women's Month, be a little selfish, find that which truly makes you happy.
What a thing it is to be a Zimbabwean woman. I'm a proud Mzhai, and I will shout from the mountaintops. They respect me where I come from. We support women. We teach each other. We build consensus, and we move together.
To all the phenomenal, amazing women out there, I just want to let you know that you are beautiful. I know you might go through a lot. It might be physical abuse, emotional, at work, at home. I just want to let you know that you are very strong. Let's keep on working very hard. Let's keep on supporting each other. And women, we are so special. I love you guys. Happy Women's Month to you.
Women's Day is not only about the celebration of our womanity. Women's Day is about remembrance. It is about honoring the women who rose up to the challenge of their day and said, not now, not anymore, not under our watch. It is also a day in which we should challenge ourselves to ask, how are we rising to the challenge of our days?
You are fierce, you are powerful, you are resilient. No matter what language you speak, how you dress, or what work you choose to do. In a world where women are constantly being put down and told that they're not worthy and told that they're not enough, we must respect each other and lift each other up. That's the truth. Because our salvation will only come, if we stand together and support one another.
Never let your past hold you back. Never. I have more awards, promotions, successes, blessings upon blessings to be grateful for. And I choose to focus on that. Choose to learn from each battle that you face. Just to grow from it. Choose to resolve, to strengthen yourself, to, slay bigger giants and slay bigger problems. Love deeply, ladies, and accept to be loved deeply by others. Forgive completely, and dare to dream big dreams, and resolve to pursue them.
I think it's incredibly important for us as women to believe in ourselves and to believe in our capabilities. Now, unconventional women are always seen as maybe too loud or too aggressive or too goal-oriented. Now, if we were men, we would be referred to as passionate and driven and focused. And I want to celebrate those women who don't let those less flattering descriptions of them determine their focus in their lives. I say this to women that are goal-oriented in their careers. I say this to women who are goal-oriented in terms of their families. I say this to women who are goal-oriented in terms of their children. Whatever it is that defines you, that drives you, that gets you up in the morning, I say go for it. Don't let the confines of what is normal determine to you what it is you must do with your life.
I'm standing in front of a Rembrandt picture. It depicts the prodigal son, and Henry Nouwen talks about the qualities that we see of the father to the son. Have a look at these hands. You see the quality of the fatherly hand here, but look at more closely. It's soft, it's tender, it's compassionate, showing us the very heart of God, celebrating us as ladies, as women. We've been made in God's image. So the question for us is not how am I to love God, but how am I to let myself be loved by God? That's the question that we get from this. Ladies, celebrate. being who we are.
The church is a space where we all go and draw closer to God and to realize that there is something bigger than ourselves. And yet we find men of cloth in those churches abuse women. And this has caused many to lose their faith.
Dear women, let's break the stereotypes. The stereotypes that tell us as women that we're each other's worst enemies. The stereotypes that say we pull each other down. I'm quite exhausted about that. That's why I put this video together, and I'll tell you something. I learned some very key lessons in putting this video together. The women who I thought would jump to my support did not. The women who I least expect to say, sure, Ruvi, did. It just tells you that as women, we're not very easy with each other. We're not very easy as a gender. Do you know what I mean? There were so many different reasons why people couldn't do this video. It ranged from, oh, it's a no makeup day. Can I do it tomorrow? Tomorrow came, the video never came. It ranged from, oh, that's a bit political, Ruvi, I don't know. Because some of us, we're branded as controversial and political. So they thought, no, let's not associate. And I completely respect that. But you know, sometimes, and one day, as women, we reach a place where it's not about your own feelings. It's about the greater good. This video is about the greater good. It's to make no one person shine. It's to make all the issues and the narratives shine. It's to enhance the narrative of women, the voices of women, to let women who are watching know that they're not alone. That if you're out there sitting on a couch, sitting on your office desk, wherever you are, watching and listening to this, just know that you can come here and you can find a safe place because we've all got shared stories. That you can contact Ruvheneko in her DM and say, Ruvi, do you know what? That video touched me and I've got a problem. And if I can't help you as Ruvheneko, please know that I'll direct you to someone who can. That's what this video is about. So instead of being difficult with each other or difficult for each other and judging each other and having headaches when you go to kitchen tea parties because it's like, oh my gosh, what do I wear in a whole group of women, where when you walk in they're going to judge and say, Mamona, Asimba, she's gained weight, this and that. It's out of order, man. Like, it's exhausting. At some point, when do we learn to love each other? And I think it starts with loving ourselves. Because of all the things we're fighting, we actually have so much bitterness and hate sometimes that we carry as women, because we're fighting battles in the home with our partners, with our children, at work, that by the time we're dealing with each other, we're just heavy and we're not good for each other as women. So this is what I'm asking us to do in this video. Dear women, let's be dear to each other. Do you know what I mean? Let's be each other's big sisters, each other's mentors, each other's support. This life is not easy, and the road that we still have to go is long. They say kwatavandokule, I get that, but we still have a really long way to go. So at some point, ladies, let's unite. Let's come together. Remember when we did the no makeup challenge and we were vulnerable and we bore our bare skins? That's what I'm asking us to do, even with this conversation, to bare our souls just a little bit. We never hear about the detailed relationships. We're intricate as women. We've got so many layers, deeply woven, crafted by God's hand to be the complicated gender. That's who we are, and we're allowed to own it, because in that complexity is beauty. There's positivity. There are stories to tell, and there are lessons to be learned. So this is what I'm hoping we can do with this. Let's use our pain. Let's use our experiences to build a better and a stronger generation. And be here for each other right now. I can't do this alone. I can't be here alone. I need people to call upon spiritually, professionally. I need them. I need you. And we need each other. So, dear women and all men everywhere, I hope that this spoke to you some way, somehow. And let's continue these conversations. Let's continue to come together, because we are ultimately one.